Hi everybody, and welcome to the show. Just kidding. Well, at first I didn't want to talk about this, but Cody suggested that I should try because some people might find it interesting or could relate to it. So, in case this bums you out or it's so boring that you fall asleep, you have to blame him, not me.
I will not tolerate this disrespect, Weber.
So I think that my accelerated alcoholism due to the COVID is being made really apparent because I posted this on my Snapchat and I had at least 8 messages from people being like, "Are you taking shots at all of these locations?" Or like, "What are you doing?" Because it was a shot list for the music video that I'm about to shoot.
God damn it! Oh! He slapped my face! Replaced by an image I cannot embrace! Face of a destiny! Sucks for me, so he wrote that about me!
Thing is, these corona days are having a bigger effect on me than I thought they would have. And since most people seem to deal with issues like they feel alone and can't meet other people, with me it's kind of the opposite. I feel like I don't have alone time at all. I'm always with my family, and for my creative process I always need a free house, no people around me. And that's not possible. It hasn't been possible for the last 5 weeks.
And
It's dripping down your mouth.
I may or may not be a little under the influence as I speak.
Behind the scenes.
Get out of my face. You're already the star of the video.
Get up in
Leave.
my face.
Leave.
Get up in my face. So.
Okay, I'm trying to recollect upon things while I'm a little bit under the influence. I want to say it's due to the COVID, but I feel like I probably would be under the influence either way. But I'm going to blame it on the COVID. Anyway, so what happened was Ike's been in a weird funk because his whole family's around. And I totally understand that because my creative process usually dictates a lot of alone time for me too. And back in the day, the way that I would get it was that my girlfriend would go to work, and in the hours that she was working, that was my creative time to do my thing. But because neither one of us have jobs at the moment, we're just around each other all the fucking time, suffocating each other, which is amazing for us personally, but it hinders joy the same way that it hinders joy for Ika, because it's really hard for me to make stuff musically, sonically speaking, when somebody is sitting there next to me or in the other room and stuff like that. It's really hard. And I think you're going to hear with the song that you're about to listen to that it's very different to the usual fare that we do normally. Because up until this song, I can't speak for Ika, but for me personally, everything that I've done vocally especially has been by myself, and usually with guitar I'm by myself as well.
And actually I wasn't aware how important that is for my creative process, because I've had a really hard time writing music, especially recording lyrics, because I feel like when I'm recording lyrics, I'm practicing a lot, and in the beginning it sounds really weird, and then also when I record it, it might sound weird to people who don't know the song and only hear my voice. And I think basically a lot of this is just in my head, but it turns out it doesn't really matter because the effect is the same.
This ring light, by the way, is fucking blinding when you've been drinking. But that's the cross that I gotta bear, because I spent my entire day today working on this video, Imagine not talking to a camera, but to this bright fucking orb in front of your face. And try to be natural doing that shit. Kudos to all you YouTubers that can do that shit. I can't. And I feel pretty good about it. I think it turned out pretty damn good. Selena says it's boring.
I did not say boring.
That's what you said. You said it's boring.
With me walking, I could have more of like an oomph to it.
The oomph comes from the music. You see, this is what I'm talking about when it's better when I'm by myself to make shit. Because then I get a voice in my ear. I get this little chirp, like a little Tweety bird in my ear.
But it's real.
The interesting thing about this song is that I recorded drum tracks for it not once, but twice. Since Ika is on quarantine with his whole family, he can't really feasibly record drums. But I can still, even though I'm rusty and I don't have the equipment necessary to make it sound really good. I'm going to try my best with what I got, rather than make excuses. I'm going to go punk rock with it, and hopefully Ika's genius in production can make me sound better than I actually do. Alright, so here's how we're doing this. I have an old drum stand here that I'm draping the microphone over to get the bass drum. I have 2 pencil mics here. They're just cheap little Samson mics that I'm using for my snare drum, which I'm hoping my brother can bring his snare drum over because this has a hole in the head and does not sound that good. And it's all being fed through my Zoom field recorder that I'm also using as overhead mics. I have 2 brats over here watching me.
Hey, hold on. Subscribe to the Dewey channel, and that's just stupid.
There you go. That's good advice. So this is the setup I'm rocking. I'm not going to use that floor tom because it's getting in the way. I don't really need it anyway for this. Okay. I'm going to give this a practice run. This is another thing that's a little bit frustrating. I have to use my iPhone headphones instead of my studio headphones because the phone doesn't have a 3.5 jack anymore, which is dope. Thanks for taking that away from me, Apple. So they're not as loud. And also, I'm going to have to sync everything in post because it's going into that and not into my Ableton like my guitar does. So, let's give it a go.
Oh, and look what I've filmed. Also, I've been thinking a lot about joy lately, and sometimes it really feels to me like it's an experiment, because Cody and I are so different, and not only we're different personalities, but we're also from different cultures. In a lot of topics, we're very opposite. And on one hand, that's really cool because that's what makes our music the way it is, his angry parts and my other quiet parts. And it's even interesting when we talk about things like design or music videos. His ideas are always not what would be my style, and probably vice versa. But then when we put it together, it somehow creates something new, which is pretty interesting. I think that's what making joy. It's a play of the opposites. And it took us a while to find out about this, and I think we're still not at the point where we've completely figured out.
So I was trying to take it upon myself to inspire him in the same way that when I was feeling down and out, he inspired me. But what I realized is that with joy especially, it doesn't fucking work at all. At all. It does not work if I'm playing drums. Especially if I'm playing guitar. It might be fun to mess around with this later on if he does the melodies and then I do the drums on top of his melodies. But if I do the melody and the drums, it just sounds like Cody Weber. It doesn't sound like joy. And he called me out on that. He made it very apparent. He's like, well, I really like your drumming, which I think he does. I don't think he was lying to me. But it doesn't sound like fucking joy. And then when he decided to finally put a drum track down, when he could finally do it, suddenly it sounded like Joy. And then I could put vocals on top of it, and the song sounds like a Joy song, albeit a weird Joy song. Like, this is the weirdest song I think we've done. But anyway, here is the finished product. The song is called... What is the song called? It's a long fucking title.
Something about picnic.
Yeah, yes.
Through the bushes you'll find yourself a picnic.
No. The song is called You Have to Walk Through the Bushes to Get to the Picnic. Which basically means...
It's a sex joke.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Did you really think it was a sex joke?
Wait, what? Say it again.
You have to walk through the bushes to get to the picnic.
It's about a vagina.
Get out of here. No, it's not. The title is an old man phrase, which basically means you have to get through the bullshit to get to the good shit.
Yeah, get through the bushes, as in that hair that you've been neglecting.
Get out of my face! I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that this gets us back on task because, man, this COVID shit is really throwing us all for a loop. What I hope at the back of the road can so.
You couldn't see it used
When I
to
broke in the
mean
back of the road was consumed by it though.
the way we are.
And I choked on the smoke in the air, but those feels were held dear to me.
The fire rain.
Just wait a minute, don't begin it. You don't intend to finish, don't.
Take a break, heaven's sake, we're awake. Can I get a reprieve for my sister day? Sister day, good decisions yesterday. I go where so want to run away, run away. If you can, then you will. Take a drink, start a pill, anything or anywhere. In the world, there's a spot that a girl can away, can away, can away. Wait a minute, don't be kidding. Did you ever intend to finish? Just forget it, you won't admit it. So just forget it, just forget it. Wait a minute, don't be kidding. Did you ever? Never had a chance for me. Take the seat, give me what I came to get. Forgive me, forgive me. Never had a chance for me. Take the seat, give me what I came to get. Forgive me, forgive me. Never had a chance for me. Take the seat, give me what I came to get. Forgive me.
Hey, good morning. Let's get coffee. You're out of your dungeon. The dun-dun.